Hello, welcome to Trend Settings episode 110.
Wow.
The final episode
Yeah.
of this show ever.
Well, like
Wow.
season 1, right?
Yeah, see, well, look, we might come
Season
back.
2 to be decided.
Who knows? But we'll get to that.
TBD.
We'll get to that later. I'm just clickbaiting you there.
That's
Giving you a bit of a tease.
Just baiting us.
That's a big season.
Yes.
Thank you.
It was.
Long season.
It's
Yeah.
a long season.
Just like in most things in life, the length just isn't long enough.
Mm.
But this is Trend Settings episode
It's more
110,
about girls,
where
isn't
we
it?
go through what's trending every week.
It's more about
This week
width.
is the final week. We are not retiring. We're not dying.
We're dying.
None of us are breaking up.
Sorry. That's my
It's
case.
probably the most peaceful end of a show because usually someone like quits or something, but it's not anything like that.
We should break all of the rules. We should talk over each other. We should tap the table. Yeah, that's the stuff.
Yeah. But
It's like a mutual breakup, right?
no,
No.
'cause we're not breaking up.
I'm trying.
We'll explain that later. We've got a whole section for this. But if you got questions about it, put it in the comments and we might answer. We'll answer them at the end. But first up is Trump, and then we're talking about a China thing that just doesn't sound. It's unbelievable. I mean, sorry, is it the pipe bomb thing?
Yeah.
So
It's not
yeah,
Trump.
sorry,
Sort of Trump, but not Trump.
he's related.
It's good clickbait.
And then we're talking about
Trump's
China
and then the
camps,
pipe bombs.
and then we're talking about Daredevil season 3 / Netflix canceling everything,
It's probably a good order to do that in.
The snap.
and then we're talking about what's next for group settings.
Ooh, the future.
Not for trend settings, because that's ending
Nice.
tonight.
Nice.
It's on the chopping block.
Nice.
The
Season.
guillotine is about to fall.
Season 1.
Schnicked.
Season 2 coming 2023. Sarah's like, what? She had no idea.
Yeah.
Okay, but
I didn't know either. until
let's
I
talk
got
about
it,
pipe bombs.
Pipe bomb.
I was going to put it in the chat, but I didn't want to say it in a chat, you know?
Yeah.
Even though that's how I told them.
That's lame.
But
So let's talk about pipe bombs. So yesterday, well, we could go back. Okay, let's start yesterday.
Cool.
So these explosive devices, suspected explosive devices.
live devices.
Some of them were live. Some were.
Has that been confirmed? Are they...
Some have been confirmed.
One definitely is.
Okay.
Let's let him
least one.
finish the sentence first.
Why would we do that now?
These bombs were sent to top Democrats or Democratic supporters around the US, including some people you may have heard of.
Who are they?
Ever heard of Barack Obama?
Was it
Yes.
Barack?
I think it's Barack, but yes.
Barack
Barack.
Obama?
Obama, right? Obama.
Hillary Clinton? Heard of
Obama.
Yep.
her? John Brennan, ex-CIA director.
Mm.
Ah.
Now I have.
Maxine Waters, Democratic representative.
Mm.
Former Attorney General Eric Holder. Heard of him?
Yep.
No.
He
Loosely.
looks like Nelson Mandela. So
I
slightly.
think also recently
probably
a
doesn't.
lot of these people have been critical of Trump, have said things.
They are all
Yeah.
Democratic supporters. So
They're
But
all
they've all
big.
been
They're all
in-
massive figures in the Democratic
Yeah.
Party.
But they've been in the media quite recently saying, you know, if you see these, I think Maxine Waters was saying, like, if you see his his cabinet at the gasoline station in the restaurant, you should go up to them and tell, and like,
Mm.
so.
they're vocally.
So you're
Very
saying
well.
they deserved it, Dip?
No, I'm not saying they deserved it. Of course not.
Classic dip. So
These are prominent figures. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
believe John Brennan, his package, well, the package was addressed to him, was sent,
Was it big?
was
Is that the
found,
right picture?
correct,
Yes.
was found in the CNN mailroom.
Mm.
Yeah, because he was going to appear, right, on
Yeah.
CNN.
Like in the movies, they have mailrooms.
Yeah.
Never seen one.
Wow.
But so they caught it,
Like an elf.
and they had to evacuate everyone out of CNN HQ.
Mm. Didn't people have to leave on
air?
On air. They were
Yeah.
on air, and they had to go.
They said, "Oh, there's a fire
They
alarm."
had to
going
clear
on.
out.
I
Find
was-
that video. See
I
if
was
it's up
watching.
there on YouTube.
And then I think they
What's the
had to
video,
pour
sorry?
it from outside.
Oh,
CNN evacuate.
give me a YouTube.
So this is 2 days after a pipe bomb was found in the mailbox of a guy called George Soros, who's this business magnate, billionaire guy,
Cool name.
who's like a liberal philanthropist,
Yeah.
also anti-Trump or pro-Democrat. take your
Big
pick.
donor, liberal donor.
Like a piece of paper.
Yes.
Be nice.
So they found this package. One of his employees found this package in the mail and brought it somewhere. And they opened it and they're like, "Oh, this is bad." And then the police called the authorities, whatever.
So was this the first one that was?
This
found?
was the first one,
Okay.
and they took it out to the forest or something and safely detonated it. So it was legit.
So it actually went off.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And
You did.
the
Oh,
one,
okay.
Tuck your chair in, bro.
the one at CNN also contained a suspect white powder, which
Oh.
turned out to be some sort of inflammable's the wrong word. Some part of an explosive.
Combustion?
Combustible something.
Wait,
What?
so one of them actually they had to detonate it,
Yeah.
or is
one
that
of
how
them-
they dispose of every one of these?
They said they safely disposed of it.
Yeah,
that
okay.
way. Took it out into the bush, the forest.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what they have over there.
The bush, mate. That's what they call it there.
The bush.
The bush.
So, but other bomb experts have been looking at the pictures, which Ali showed us before, and because they're just like these pieces of tube piping, and some of them have like clock faces on the front, and some explosives experts are saying, well, that's a telltale sign of an amateur and not of a real bomb maker,
Right.
because they like to not put
Ah.
timers on the outside so no one knows when they're going to go off.
All my
etc.
recommended videos.
So
Just Kane Crumps and Funhouse.
at least one is real.
Yeah.
The rest unconfirmed as of yet.
All obviously likely to be made by the same person.
Yes.
And
They were all delivered in the same sort of packaging.
but I mean, the fact that they didn't go off, which is a really good thing, because that would have been really horrible.
Yes.
Because that would have been a lot of mailroom people being blown up.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's obviously a big deal, and like terrorist acts like these are pretty like scary. Like none of them made it to their intended targets.
Have people been using the word terrorist attacks?
That's
Yes.
actually
I haven't really seen it in the
up for
media.
debate.
Yeah.
Definitely is.
I
though.
think Bill de Blasio, New York mayor,
Mm.
he called it a terrorist attack because it's politically motivated. If it's something motivated by an ideology and designed to cause terror, then that's,
Yeah.
I think, the technical definition of a
It's
terror
terrorist.
attack.
Trump didn't say terrorists. He
Mm.
said attacks or something.
Yes, well, Trump wouldn't
that
have
nature.
because it wasn't a Muslim person.
Precisely. But
Oh, they might have been actually. You never know. But
we don't know.
probably
That's
was.
true. Samuel L. Jackson took
To Twitter.
to Instagram.
Took what? Took a beer.
Took the initiative.
Took
What is
his
the-
purple lightsaber.
Took a milkshake.
what is the phrase? Anyway, he didn't take offense. He took
He objected to.
that one, and he took to Twitter
So
to tweet a rejigging of one of his famous lines from a movie.
yeah. Which movie?
Snakes on the plane.
Tell me if you can guess the movie.
Okay.
I'm gonna say
Pulp Fiction.
fork instead of a different word.
Okay.
Okay.
So last episode, you
Snakes
might
on
as
the
well go
plane.
for
Terrorism, motherfucker! Can you say it?
it.
He already
is that
guessed it.
is that to Trump
Yeah.
because he didn't say it?
Yes.
Mm.
That is a response to the president's comments.
That's
So
definitely
that's what he
Samuel L.
objected to.
Jackson tweeted that.
Yeah.
I'd be really interested to know how often stuff like this happens because there's 300 million people in America, and there are some really crazy ones.
Yes, that's
And
what-
there's always been really
that was
crazy
an
ones.
interesting thing in the articles I was reading. It's like the lesser reported instances where this does happen, like quite regularly.
Yeah, like I would
To these
assume
prominent people.
suspicious packages are quite
Yeah,
a normal occurrence.
that's why the Obamas and Hillary and the other people, the Secret Service, they screen all their mail, so that's how they pick them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I imagine
So you just-
CNN would probably have reasonable
the
security.
mailroom people there.
No one's been hurt by this though.
No.
Correct.
No.
Thanks.
Correct. So now obviously comes the reaction. Everyone's come out condemning it,
Yep.
which is
Yeah.
good, thankfully.
Yeah, no one's out there going.
But is that's the bare minimum, right?
That is
yeah, you can't say no to pipe bombs
So Trump said,
and Nazis.
we're angry, we're upset, we will get to the
Why are
bottom
they
of it.
Nazis?
But then a lot of the response is about how we got to this point and why this is happening. And should we blame... Because Trump also said in another speech at one of his rallies that we need to talk nicely about each other and stop being so mean to each other, and the media needs to stop lying.
Trump said
And
that.
Yeah,
correct.
he came out saying the media needs to stop being so hostile.
The media needs to be nicer to everybody.
That's not the dumbest thing he's ever said.
So then the question of responsibility
Low
comes.
bar.
Because obviously it's this guy's decision. He's decided to do that. But why
Yeah.
did he feel like this was
Yeah.
an option? Why did he feel like this was something he could do?
People were pointing out times that Trump has in the past seemed to be calling for violence against journalists.
Yes.
Because he sort of like really praised a congressman who assaulted a reporter. I think he was. I can't remember who he was a reporter from.
Yeah.
People are bringing that up, but he's also mentioned at rallies and stuff like attacking the media while they're right there, and them talking about how hostile it gets.
So these two representatives, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, they put out a statement yesterday about how anything Trump says is really hollow until he reverses a lot of his statements that condone acts of violence. So a part of that says, time and time again, the president has condoned physical violence and divided Americans with his words and actions, expressing support for the congressman who body slammed a reporter, the neo-Nazis who killed a young woman in Charlottesville, his supporters at rallies who get violent with protesters, dictators around the world who murder their own citizens, and referring to the free press as the enemy of the people. So those are examples. Obviously, they're not Trump supporters, so they're not going to say nice things about Trump, but this is where the conversation is at.
I feel like given the targets, though, the person who's done this is probably more influenced by your sort of Alex Joneses.
Yeah.
Because that, like, George Soros is sort of the kicker on that, because I don't think Trump has particularly come out
He
against
hasn't
him in
labelled him,
particular. He's not a media figure either. But in the conspiracy theory circles, he's a massive figure because he sort of represents the new world order that's trying to undermine America and everything it stands for, and institute some sort of Illuminati site.
Yeah, it's trying to set up
regime.
this world government.
Yeah, like it's sort of like the taking the guns. Clinton's part of a pedophile ring. Eric Holder was part of it as well.
And
like
even
in those
I think-
conspiracy theories, they all feature quite prominently.
And they say he's supporting the caravan that's moving up from Honduras
Yeah,
through Mexico
which
to come into
that's
the
got a
US.
lot of lies sort of around it, doesn't it? Which Trump has probably helped.
I'm
put
sure it
along.
does. But the conspiracy theories don't stop. They've
No.
continued today. So
Yep.
some
What's happening?
right-wing commentators, he's deleted the tweet now, but he said, investigators need to take a seriously look at the far-left groups, like Antifa, when investigating the bombs. These smell like false flag tactics of unhinged leftists who know when they're losing.
They claimed that about Sandy Hook as well, and the cinema shooting too.
It's easy to claim that when you got no evidence to support it, right?
So that's
hallmark of a conspiracy theory.
that's the repeating conspiracy theory that this is
Yeah,
all
but
from
they
the
they
left.
literally always say that about everything. Like every time there's a mass shooting, it's like, oh, this is by gun rights like this is by anti-gun activists because they want to take away the guns,
Yeah.
or the government's doing
They're
it so
saying
they
it's
can
the
take
double
away
bluff.
the gun. Yeah,
Classic double bluff. But it's like, I don't know. Would you send a live bomb if you're trying to do a double bluff? Like,
I don't know. Yeah,
who
it's no,
it's just a stupid argument.
yeah, no. But I think the person who's done, there's enough crazy people. But America's always been crazy. JFK got shot.
Yep.
Like they had a president who got killed.
Yeah.
Robert F. Kennedy also got killed. Actually, multiple presidents have been killed through
John
the years.
Lennon.
Abraham Lincoln.
Uh-oh.
That was way back. So, like, I don't know. Is this a new thing, or have they always just made
Has it been
politics an
so-
insane thing?
That's true.
Has it been so, onto attacked on one side of politics kind of thing? Has it always been? Because obviously this is targeted towards the left, right?
Yeah,
The Democrats. I don't
I
think we've
think
seen such
there
a
was
wide scale
a-
thing.
There was a case of that baseball game that there were congressmen playing in. I think it was last year, and there was a shooting incident at that.
No.
They stopped the guy, but I think it takes one crazy person to do something like this.
True.
And they'll probably find the guy, hopefully.
It does take one crazy person, and obviously this guy is
The whole,
unhinged.
The question is whether the broader
Is
environment that they're in.
What can we, or what can politicians, or what can world leaders do can they help in any way?
To be honest, if you're in that conspiracy theory world, if you actually believe the things that they say 100% without any doubts, it's kind of a rational action. Because you're talking about people.
You guys keep saying this guy's crazy, like, and obviously he's not the normalest person. But if his intention was to never actually blow anything up, he'd probably think he's being super smart doing this, right?
just to create a media frenzy.
Yeah.
I don't see how if he's on the right wing, I don't see how that would help their cause in any way to do this. So I get where they're coming from with the false flag argument. I think it's still stupid, but I think it's a crazy person because the George Soros thing is the thing for me because he only really comes up a lot in those conspiracy theory circles. Yeah. And the only reason people who are into conspiracy theories don't do this kind of thing all the time is because there is some level of doubt in their minds about whether they're true. Whether it's true. Because obviously if you logically believed that George Soros is a lizard person who's trying to take over the world, wouldn't it be your duty to do something like this? If you honestly believe that fully, without any doubt. Yeah. And I think as a certain type of person with the right mental illness or whatever, if they swim in that soup for long enough, I think that's inevitable, isn't it?
You're really making me want to read that lizard thing. That sounds interesting.
But honestly, it would take 2 seconds to find all the conspiracy theories, and there's heaps out there about and how deep it goes. They would probably think they're trying to save the world by killing him.
Yeah,
which is
horrible.
Some
sort of martyr, right?
Yeah, obviously those conspiracy theories are dumb, and I think most people who listen to them have enough doubt about them genuinely that they would obviously not act on it. Yeah. But then there's certain people listening to them who don't understand that they're just
take it as fact
theories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the point is that I think the world has become more divisive, right? Like the left and right, particularly in the US, is becoming more
competitive.
You're more competitive. It's never been like what it has been, but it hasn't been as bad, I think. And I think one of the things is the world leaders. I think we're moving a shift towards more autocratic kind of leaders in the world. You think of the US, you think of China, Russia. This is kind of a trend that's happening more often, and it's they're essentially they want power. So I think the idea of creating these two side stories, which there's a good side and a bad side, or left and right, it's just a very simple kind of way to keep people occupied. It keeps the stories in the news going, and it takes away attention for anything else. So I think in one sense it's a reflection of probably that world leadership. That the idea is true leaders should be trying to unite the two groups together, and I don't think that has been done. And particularly by Trump, obviously it's quite clear that he wants to make that an environment where it's the left versus the right.
Yeah, he did say should take action peacefully. Yeah, the only action we should be taking is going out and voting.
Is that Trump?
That was Trump. But then afterwards he did joke and say, only if you're voting Republican.
That's interesting. I would I get what you're saying with the people. I feel like the leadership in terms of media and politics and stuff, I feel like they're behind. Yeah. I feel like they're always trying to play catch up. Yeah. So the media is just trying to survive, so they'll do what it takes. Yep. And the politicians are just trying to survive, so they'll do what it takes. Everyone's just doing what it takes to maintain. Yep. And it ends up being a terrible system. I don't think anyone's really steering the ship.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think the ship's going somewhere and it's not good, but everyone is acting in their own interest, and that's what's leading it there.
Do you think this will make less people vote?
I would think it would make more people vote.
They got midterms at the moment.
It might be a bit neutral.
Because early voting just started, right?
Yeah.
Can someone tell me what midterms is?
Midterms is the election between the two so the presidential elections every 4 years. The midterms are in between them, and the entire House of Representatives is up for I think it's the entire one, or maybe it's half of it. I think there's some
Nomination,
weird
so.
like 6-year cycle thing.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
some of the seats are up and some of the Senate is up.
Not the
Copy
president.
Not the presidency, no. But if he loses the House and the Senate, then it's really hard for him to do anything, which
Yeah.
is what happened to Obama. Traditionally, the midterms favor the party that's not in power
Opposing. Yeah.
because it gets them to their voters to turn out.
Rallies them.
Do you guys want to hear an excerpt from a email
Yep.
from Trump's 2020 campaign manager to their members and things?
Mm.
Yeah.
I have some breaking news for CNN. That is the real America that exists outside of the liberal bubble. It's time for us to give the media another wake-up call from the American people.
The pipe bomb was the real America.
That was not.
What's his
That's
point?
not a reference to
Wow.
anything.
Yeah.
But then
But
they
that was
did-
post pipe bomb, right?
that
Who
was
said that?
post pipe bomb.
The campaign manager for Trump's next election.
They did. She
2020.
did apologize and say it was a scheduled email.
It was a scheduling email. That's like when a Tupac song comes out and it's referencing current events.
Yeah.
Gotta be kidding.
Yeah.
So it's not even. Yeah.
That's the
You
funniest.
know how we're
thing.
saying they're just trying to catch up. It seems like we're just giving them too much credit. They're just trying to correct their mistakes.
I don't think these people are that smart.
No.
yeah.
Final
crazy.
thoughts, Chris?
Don't send bombs.
Mm.
Nice. Good thought.
Yeah.
Mm.
Nick says traditionally the majority switches at the midterm.
Mm.
Thanks for repeating what Jono said, Nick.
Mm.
And
Oh, we appreciate you. We're glad you're
but
here.
we love you.
It's corroborating
Thanks for
evidence. Yeah.
Next is
Have a corroboree.
next is some really crazy stuff.
Yeah,
in
so
China.
some very dark news out of China. It's not really news because it's sort of always been.
It's not proven, right?
It's a long. I think there's enough circumstantial
yeah,
evidence. Like it's short of them actually saying, China actually saying they're doing this. There's a lot of satellite imagery. There's a lot of first-hand accounts. Like there's enough that it's like they're doing this.
You should bring up that website.
Yeah, with all the pictures.
Man, that
Yeah,
article
I'll show
was
you that.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What do
and
I
I normally
what do I
don't
search?
like the ones that put you into that magazine format scrolly
I loved
thingy.
it.
Yeah, it was really well done.
It was so
Anyway, so this week there was a BBC front story cover article about the Uyghur people in Xinjiang province in China. So it's right over in the western side. They're actually sort of closer related to Central Asian people,
Yeah.
them. And there's an anecdote that it's actually closer to Baghdad than it is to Beijing. It actually is geographically.
Geographically. Because they look like Mongolian, like
Yeah.
Nepalese kind of. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're probably closer to like Tajikistan. I think they speak a Turkic language, which is the same as in Turkey.
Yeah.
People speak. So actually, this is a people group. They're predominantly Muslim. Very different cultural background to the rest of, or the majority of China, which is Han Chinese. It's obviously a part of China, and because it's sort of the Communist Party's mantra is that that your allegiance should be first to the party, right? Before anything else. It's to the Communist Party. So they tend to not like any religion or cultural identities that might supersede that allegiance.
Yep.
So like it's the same sort of thing with Christians and things. If you want to be a state-sanctioned Christian, you have to be approved by the party, and then you have to say what they say is okay, and you always have to you're still your allegiance is still to the party before God.
Yeah.
Which is why there's a lot of underground churches and things. And so it's the same with Muslims. So they basically they make it very hard. They'll close down mosques. They do all that sort of thing. There has been a lot of like terrorism incidents, as that's what China calls them. They call them terrorism incidents, but their range of terrorism incidents is everything. So it's like rural farmers rebelling against the local police authority, to actual like attacks on police with weapons and things. So there have been hundreds of incidents, and basically China's response to this, or they say that's their response to this, is that they've built massive camps, massive internment camps. They call them education camps. Re-education camps. Their excuse is that they're vocational camps and these people are there to learn. But so this is analysis of satellite imagery. It was actually done by a Chinese student who's studying in America, I think his name is Sean Zhang. And he'd been hearing these claims like a couple of years ago about these massive camps that were happening. We're talking like hundreds of thousands to up to 1 million people could be in these camps. So it's basically a prison sentence without a trial or any kind of due process. So he was like, "Oh, that can't be right."
This website's crazy.
Yeah. It's really well done. They actually, so this BBC team actually went to China to try and get this information to corroborate stuff, but they were immediately followed by police and pulled over and told to like turn off their cameras and things. They did get a bit of footage of some of the complexes as they were going past, but nothing like...
But you can only see like a wall. Like
you can just see like, yes, there is something there. They were able to confirm that at certain sites because... Okay, so this guy named Sean Zhang was using... He was skeptical because he's a Han Chinese descent person. He didn't believe that that kind of thing could be happening because it's such a massive scale. So he decided he was going to try and figure it out. Like, is this actually happening? So he managed to find forms detailing construction project work that China put out, tenders for companies to do work. And he sort of cross-referenced that with satellite imagery on Google Earth. And he was able to see, oh yeah, there's large patches of empty land that are now have massive complexes on it. You can estimate the size of the complexes. You can work out how many people they could fit.
Yeah, they talked to like architects and prison building specialists.
Yeah, so he basically found all of these sites doing his own investigation. He started off thinking it wasn't true, so he was trying to show that it wasn't true. He actually ended up proving that it was. The problem with Google imagery is that it doesn't update very quickly in remote areas. But there's a European Space Agency project that does update more frequently, but lower resolution. And basically this BBC team, they were going past a site that they wanted to check out, which they'd been tracking on Google Earth, and actually found that it was way bigger than it looked on Google Earth because that was behind by a couple of months. So there was like heaps of cranes and construction going on. They were expanding it.
Right.
Yeah, so it's still going on.
You even see from April to October, like they have an image in this website.
Yeah,
so
and it's already gotten massively bigger. So
is this brand new in every way, or is this...
No, it's sort of like these claims have been there for a long time,
right?
But people are like taking more notice of it, I guess now. I think this was in the news, but I found another thing from PBS a month ago. But it's a crazy thing. Like most people wouldn't know.
I guess it's not in the Western circles, so it's probably ignored a bit. Would that?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah,
that why it's not way bigger.
It's not. It's not frontline news in most stuff.
Yeah, China's quite strict as well in how they respond to things like this. So America brought it up at some UN meeting, and they just said America has no right to say any of these things, and these are vocational camps, and it's not about any of like it's not what you guys are saying. It's not imprisonment without trial, which counteracts like a lot of testimony from people who were actually in those camps who say that they were getting beaten and you're basically forced to recite Chinese communist propaganda and you have to know a bunch of stuff. It's very much how, if you've ever read George Orwell's 1984, that's what it's describing.
Right.
Yeah, and like even the technology and the ways they have, the systems they have in place to find these people and to figure out who needs to get put away, like the facial recognition.
Yeah, so the whole province, which has I think 10 million people, they've got like, okay, all of China has all this facial recognition software being put up and cameras everywhere, but they're specifically using it for people there. So they've basically banned headscarves and praying and mosques and things. So in that whole region, and then they kind of indiscriminately take millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people. It's not clear how many exactly, but just based on the size and the fact that they're expanding them, they can kind of extrapolate.
So just to be clear, I don't know if we like clearly stated it, like they're taking Muslims targeted at the moment.
Yeah, Uyghur people.
And they're without trial or anything because they're different and they're imprisoning them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess it would be anyone who shows that distinct culture that they're trying to eliminate.
I might have just heard this wrong. So I get the imagery and the satellite stuff, but how do they know that it's all Muslim people taking here?
Those are the people who. So from first-hand accounts, that's
Also,
who's
people
been
have
taken.
gotten out of it.
Yes.
Okay.
So when they first started them, I think it was only a few months that people were in there.
Right.
But now there's sort of less reports of people actually leaving
Yeah.
Right.
ever.
And there's people saying, "Oh, my daughter, my sister, my mum, I'm never going to see them again. I can't hear from them. I can't talk to them."
Yeah.
This is very reminiscent of like gulags in the Soviet Union.
Mm.
It's like and concentration camps and things like that. It's like, it's up there with like the worst crimes against humanity that have ever happened.
What? I think you already said this, but what country are most of them from, or is it?
They're in China. It's in
Okay.
a province called
Okay.
Xinjiang in the west. So it's just north of Tibet.
Okay.
The province north of Tibet, which
So there's-
Tibet also has
So
similar
there's no
things.
way another country is going to come intervene with this.
No. I mean, no one has the leverage to do that. You can just
Yeah, but it's-
basically, maybe you can impose sanctions or something like that. But it's
Mm.
sort of up to China to
Oh.
decide they don't want to do that.
And they're too powerful to be muscled into that sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Oh,
Right?
no, yeah, there's no way.
You don't want to go
Um,
to war with China, do you?
No.
No.
It's weird, though, that I don't really get it, because that province has a lot of resources, but I don't think China would have any problem. Like, the terrorism isn't bad enough that it should, this is the response that is reasonable to it,
Mm.
obviously it's not reasonable. Like, you can't imprison people who haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah.
Mm.
But
I mean, who would do that? No.
like, what's their, what do they want? They want uniformity. Is that it in their people? They don't want any dissent. Like,
Yeah, I don't think diversity is a win
mm.
in China,
Mm.
but also it's sort of that allegiance to Communist Party
Yeah.
mantra and rules.
Yeah.
It's generally it's an atheistic philosophy.
Mm.
Not like, it's not because it's atheistic, but that is what it is. So like, a religion of any kind is a bad thing
Mm.
for them.
Can you? I don't know how to say this. Can you? I don't know. Picture people saying, "Well, the terrorism levels have gone right down."
They have said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are Uyghur people who are like not, say, sort of
I
like
mean,
getting
like,
on board with
Pundits,
this, right?
not the government.
Yeah, not the
Yeah.
government. But yeah, like, that's their newspapers, which basically give government propaganda. That's sort of their take on it.
You're talking about people in the West, or
Yeah.
yeah. So you think
Um,
West people, any people in the
I
West
think
would
it's
support it?
antithetical to Western philosophy,
Yeah.
because we're all about individual liberty.
Mm.
It's sort of the basis. There is a massive difference between Eastern philosophy and Western philosophy, and I think that's probably the key one.
You
And-
can't, because when I think about this, I think about some far right supporter who loves the Muslim ban and things like that,
Mm.
and they would think, well, terrorism's gone down since we locked up all the Muslims.
Yeah, it doesn't sound that crazy when he puts it like that. But I
Yeah.
mean, what?
I don't-
So is there any way?
I'm not sure they had a problem with terrorism before, though.
Yeah,
No,
but
there was separatists.
Yeah.
There were separatists there.
Do
I
you-
mean, a lot of parts of China have separatists because it's a huge place.
there's got to be no way that they're all actually proper terrorists, though, right? That
Oh, no,
that can't
no,
be possible.
no.
There's too many.
Not at all.
There's no way you can properly investigate that many people. I mean,
due process.
Yeah, due process. I guess China can always come back at America if they say something and say, well, you've got Guantanamo Bay. You've got all those black sites that you took people to without any trial. You have drone bombings where you kill people without any trial. If Australia said anything, you could say, well, you've got prison camps
got
in
Nauru.
Pacific Island. Thousands of people there. So,
I guess it's just the huge scale, right? When we're talking about the economy
yeah,
of it, that's
it's
really
just sort
shocking.
of, and the idea of an education camp is so Big Brother, like
Mm.
Yeah.
Orwellian. Like, it's exactly what he describes. It's like, okay, you were found to be not conforming, so you're being taken away to be trained to conform. Like, that's a horrible thought.
You're being brainwashed.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know.
Like deprogramming.
Are these people ever going to get out? They're going to die there? Like, I don't know. What's the
So
outcome?
I hope not. I mean, if it's like any previous large scale camps that have happened in
Yeah.
history, then a lot of people will die.
Yeah.
Do you think
Yeah.
the image?
You just can't
Because
see it now.
BBC have to have some tactic in doing this. They've literally designed a website around the article.
No, they just occasionally do large pieces like this. It's sort of their magazine format, but online.
I mean, like,
And
what's
it's all
their play?
interactive and
Are they
stuff.
just trying to shame them so that they release them? Is that kind of their
It's
tactic?
journalism.
Do you think? Or,
And news.
yeah, I know what you mean, but like,
Are you asking why a journalist would break news?
Well, they're not.
They're not breaking it, but they're trying to shed more light on it.
Yeah.
right.
But like, that's the motivation for lots of journalists.
Mm.
Yeah. it's just their job. It's what their due diligence is as a journalist, as they feel.
Just shed light on the world.
Mm.
But yeah, it's worth looking at. It's worth sort of knowing about and not being ignorant of things that can happen in the world.
Yeah, and it's like this article is very easy to read.
Yeah,
it's definitely checking out.
Informed.
Yeah, shocking.
Yeah.
And we have now
terrible.
been blocked in China.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We were already blocked.
Oh, we get blocked in all kinds of countries.
I think Facebook is blocked in China. I don't remember being able to get on it. Instagram definitely was. You got on it, eh, Chris? Hey.
It's not that hard, guys.
Lock him up.
Do you run a VPN or what?
They have Bebo though, right?
They
They have
got
Weibo
WeChat.
and
that's
WeChat.
it. All right, let's talk about something way less serious and way less world newsy, but fun.
And depressing.
Guys, how now? Look,
How now?
we're
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about Daredevil season 3. We're
Yeah.
not going to spoil season 3, but we're
Good.
probably going to spoil all the other ones before it.
Yeah, that's all right.
Good.
So
Who
like
cares?
Defenders, the old Daredevil seasons, maybe some Iron Fist, maybe some Luke Cage, maybe
Don't.
some
Not Iron Fist.
Jessica Jones season. What's your problem with Iron Fist, bro?
It sucks.
Did you even watch it? Season 2.
I've
great.
heard season
Didn't watch
2.
it.
Well, I've heard you say
I thought season 1. I
2's
haven't
better.
seen season 2.
Season 2 is great.
There's no
Yeah.
way I'm going back to anything. Iron Fist.
Okay, all right.
I've been staying away from all the Marvel.
Yeah, the funny thing is, the way you guys think about that, I think about Luke Cage. Like, I can't stand Luke Cage. Anyway,
I didn't
You
get
guys like Luke Cage?
I didn't get through
No,
season
I don't
1.
like Luke Cage either.
Who likes Luke Cage?
I think it's actually worse than Iron Fist, but that I think I'm.
You're
very
really.
alone in that.
It's a.
It's a low bar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very low bar.
But so lots of things are happening in Netflix. 24 shows are about to get cancelled from Netflix.
What?
Jeez.
They have a lot of shows, so that's
Yeah, they do.
when you actually look at the list of them, that's like a drop in the bucket. I
Do
don't
they?
know, like every week there's a new Netflix show.
Are there
coming
any
out.
notable ones?
Yeah.
Orange is the New Black
That's finishing. It's not cancelled.
Is
is
it both?
trend settings finishing or getting cancelled.
Finishing.
No, season 1 is ending.
It's pretty much the same thing.
It's a
Right?
very popular show, right?
It's just more of a
Oh, sometimes shouldn't show end. Sometimes shouldn't shows end.
yes.
Yes.
Okay,
But I was just saying
that's not being cancelled.
it's
that's
one
like
of it's
ending.
one of the 24 things ending.
Right.
Yeah.
So what came
Anything
first?
else?
That's
So
the
there's
question.
also Luke Cage.
Good.
After they said they were going to do a season 3,
Oh, that's a cancel.
and then Iron Fist has got cancelled after they just had the most redeeming season of a show like ever made.
Does he know how to do martial arts now?
Yeah,
'Cause he's had time
and he
to
doesn't
learn it,
complain. And they made so there's a character named Boyd who's a boring lawyer in the first season, and they actually made him interesting in the second season. That's how good the second season was. And then they had the biggest tease at the end of the second season, and then it's just like, nah, it's cancelled.
Ah. So are you saying I shouldn't watch it?
Which my theory is the tease, like they literally like, we're canned anyway. Let's just go crazy with this.
Yeah.
Because let me tell, spoiler for the end of season 2 of Iron Fist, he iron fists guns. So you know how he charges up his hands? He does that to the guns and shoots like iron fist bullets.
Oh wow. Okay, that's a very big departure
Yeah.
from a martial arts.
So he does that in the last 5 minutes. You're like, oh, season 3 is going to be lit. Cancelled.
I really
Like,
don't
the
think
next
that would be
day.
a good show.
No, the way I'm sounding it makes it sound dumb,
Yeah.
but it's pretty cool. Because
Okay.
one of another awesome thing, I'm spoiling the crap out of season 2 of Iron Fist, but
Can you do it with swords? That would
that's
be cool.
literally what I was about to say.
Okay, right.
So one of the best things about Iron Fist season 2 is he actually gives it up and gives it to his girlfriend, who's a better person, which is actually great. Because I was like, oh, there's no way they're actually going to take away the Iron Fist from the Iron Fist, and they did. It was great.
can
And at
give
the
it to
end of
other
it,
people?
she's iron fisting swords, like samurai swords. It sounds gross when I'm saying it.
Yeah.
You keep saying fisting. It's never good. So is Daredevil surviving?
Is Jessica Jones back? She got more?
No, so you know what's great about having a cinematic universe on Netflix that they can all be in each other's shows? It would be great if they actually crossed over into each other's shows every once in a while, which they did a little bit at first, but lately there's just been none of it. So they've all met, they're all on a team that defends the city, and they never bloody talk to each other
But
or help
Daredevil
each other.
died.
Because they have different quadrants. The ones that
No,
They really don't. They're all over the city all the time.
They're all on WeChat.
New York can't be that big, right?
So-
I've never actually been. My reference to New York
I
is
think
swinging
they-
around it in Spider-Man.
I think they cover the quadrants that your
And the
J and
Warriors.
Michael Vincent's don't cover.
He's in Hell's Kitchen, but
Warriors.
This is an honest question. Is Hell's Kitchen that big?
I think they're all
doubt it.
separate.
It's in
It's gotta be
Manhattan.
like 2 blocks,
it's in,
right?
No,
It's probably bigger.
on,
It's
like,
probably
east
as
side
big
of
as
Manhattan,
normal
right, or west
cities,
side.
CBDs.
Right.
Yeah.
Which that's not that
New
big.
York's a big place.
Okay, that's just a complaint that they really don't have enough crossovers in this show that should have so many crossovers.
So Daredevil season 3.
So Daredevil season 3. The last time we saw Matt Murdock, who is Daredevil, spoiler, is he died at the end of The Defenders,
Oh
which
yeah, that's right.
most people didn't watch. You probably forgot that because it was a big shrug.
I watched it.
Oh yeah, just forget that.
The building blew up.
Yeah, and landed on him.
With
And
Elektra.
probably the worst part of this season is the first 5 minutes, which
Mm.
I'm going to spoil right now.
Hmm.
Which, do you want to know the magic of how he survived that building falling on him?
Does a red priest bring him back to life?
He flew through the air.
No, it's so lame. Like, so the first scene is him kind of falling through a dream state kind of thing, and then he gets farted out of a sewerage pipe.
What?
Oh yeah.
That's it.
What?
No explanation. You think they're gonna come back to it a few episodes later and someone put him in there or something. Not referenced at all. He just gets farted out of a sewer drain. Somehow he survived the dragon bone collapsing lair.
Oh, so they didn't. I don't remember the end of Defenders. Did he? They show him dead?
Him and Elektra, the cave collapses on him. That's the end.
I figured he was just going to come back with the chamber thing that brings people back to life.
Oh yeah, maybe
So-
that. And then he's like, "Where's Elektra?" And they're like, "No one came out with you." That's it.
She did.
They just cut her off.
No one's going.
Besides that, Daredevil season 3 is bloody great. I know I'm setting it up to be crap.
Are his two friends as annoying as they were in the previous season?
Yes and no.
Because I cannot stand that lawyer friend of his.
There isn't.
Foggy.
Foggy's better.
Foggy
Karen's
is
still
freaking
crap.
annoying. He's such a whinging little.
He works better in this season.
What
though.
show was he on growing up? Mighty Ducks, wasn't it?
No. Remember the Titans?
Foggy.
Yeah, he was one of the people in Remember the Titans.
Okay.
One of the Titans.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kingpin's back.
Yeah, so pretty much the whole season, like season 1, which was amazing, it was mainly about Kingpin, and Daredevil was kind of interesting. They've gone back to that format in this season. It's mainly about Kingpin and a new bad guy. Can you guess what the bad guy is?
Bullseye.
It's Bullseye. He got it. He bullseyed it.
I didn't know.
Ball, more like balls.
Which, when you explain what his power is, it sounds dumb, but it's very cool
He
in
can
the
chuck
show.
stuff good.
He can make anything that he can throw into a deadly weapon. Sounds dumb, right?
I think this is the Ben Affleck movie. Isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I didn't want to spoil the actual.
So the good thing about this one was he's not Irish and dumb Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say about him. He's got a really cool
Bullseyes,
backstory.
Yeah.
Because these Netflix shows are always accused of being too long, so they tend to give backstory episodes to people you do not give a crap about.
Yeah.
Like a particular episode in this one called Karen. Don't watch it. Just skip it. It's useless. You get backstory for her, which you didn't want.
Ali, is it because you hate women though?
No. Women are great. I liked Elektra. She was cool.
She was.
Most people didn't like Elektra.
Yeah,
I
didn't
was
like
okay
her.
with her.
Yeah.
I liked that she brought the bad out in Matt. But
She's a bit naughty.
yeah. So Matt's really angry in this one, like how Optimus is when he comes back from the dead.
Did you say Optimus?
Yeah. Is that
Good
okay?
reference.
Thank you.
What about Superman? Oh, you haven't watched that.
Yeah.
Justice
Was
League?
that Justice League or Batman vs Superman?
Justice
I can't
League.
remember. Yeah. And this one's kind of about him dealing with being Daredevil, which is the usual thing, and Kingpin doing what Kingpin does best, which is manipulating people and kind of pulling the hood over people's eyes. But the way the story plays out is super
Literally.
interesting. Yeah. The way, because everything in this season it's like, they should have just called this Kingpin and made the show about him, because he's great. Everything he does is cool. And make Daredevil the bad guy or something. But
Is there any Punisher?
no, there's okay. One spoiler for this, but this is something you should know, because I prefer that I knew this at the beginning. No other superhero is in this from the other ones. None.
Spoilers.
No Punisher, no Iron Fist, no Jessica Jones. We don't even get that stupid nurse that's in all of them.
Oh, really?
Nurse.
What did you say?
The night nurse.
Oh, I thought you said wet nurse.
He said hot
Sorry.
nurse.
Yeah.
We just get Foggy and Karen.
I really hate Foggy.
But there is a few new characters that are great.
I really hated him.
But yeah, if you like Daredevil, you'll love it. If you didn't like season 2, you'll still love it.
I'm on
How
the
many?
edge.
How many episodes was
I
it?
thought Daredevil's probably the
13.
strongest.
Does it have
so
that
far.
middle
Yeah.
weakness that they all do?
No, because the middle ones are the new characters, and the new characters are actually awesome.
Okay.
So I don't hate backstory episodes. I just hate backstory episodes about Foggy and Karen.
Yeah, no one cares about.
So,
it.
question: Luke Cage's gone. Iron Fist is gone. Is that because Thanos snapped him up?
Could be. Someone was saying that half the Netflix shows are gone, but it's not because there's
Yeah.
technically Punisher as well, and
He's gone.
no way.
Hope
Ugh.
so.
So they are they going to continue with the Marvel?
There's a lot of
Cinematic
theories
universe?
flying around about that, Jonathan,
Okay.
and
I don't know why I sound so invested in the answer to
they're
this.
all speculation. But kind of the main one is Disney starting their own streaming service, so it's like they're
True.
trying to kill off
Winding
these.
it down.
And apparently, I think dealing with Netflix dealing with Disney to make these is probably a hassle. So they're probably like okay with killing them off. So it's like mutually assured destruction of
When's-
Netflix.
When's Disney's thing starting?
I don't know,
Next year, I think.
but I
Right.
keep seeing Instagram posts from Jon Favreau about the Mandalorian, and they be getting me hungry. If you know what I'm saying.
True.
What? As in
I
they're
have no
doing a
idea what this is
Mandalorian.
about.
Yeah,
TV show.
Didn't they already do him in
No.
the cinematic universe?
it's
What?
it's
Oh, no,
not. It's
sorry,
not
not
him.
Mandalorian.
He is a Mandalorian,
Are you
but it's
talking
not.
about the
It's not
Mandarin?
about Boba Fett. Boba Fett.
Mandalorian.
Oh man! Oh, Star Wars.
Yeah,
How's that? Oh yeah,
Disney.
Star Wars.
Disney owns everything.
I forgot.
I don't know if you remember.
I forgot.
Disney
I was
owns
like
the
still in
world.
Marvel. I was like, wait, do you mean the Mandarin? Yeah, I'm in.
No, the Mandalorian, and it's not
Yeah.
about Boba Fett.
Oh, thank
After
goodness.
episode 3, before episode
Am I the
4.
only one who doesn't care about Boba Fett at
No,
all?
most
Wait.
people like that.
Not that one.
They were gonna do a whole movie on him.
Yeah.
People like Boba Fett.
And they cancelled it. Everyone was like, good.
6 and 7.
I think- Everyone loved
6 and 7.
Boba Fett before the prequels, and
Yes,
now it's
Before
half and
Jan-
half, I think.
Before Django.
Yeah.
Django.
Get
But-
him dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he wasn't important.
Prequels quotes. Always funny. Always.
That's where you're from. The Stormtrooper.
Anyway, Daredevil's great.
Get him dead.
Anything else being cancelled on Netflix?
Yeah, I
Anything
can't
notable?
remember
No.
though. Orange is the New Black was the big one that's
big one.
finishing.
Yeah.
You can look up the list. But shall we talk about the future?
Real talk.
Tell me.
Future. So, lately I've been having a lot of thoughts, and you
Mhm.
guys seem to concur with me when I brought them up. Was that I wanted to shake things up with the podcast. Is kind of the way we do it, the way we live stream it, and the way we're kind of locked into every Thursday night. It's not that it was getting stale, but it was just getting hard to maintain, and it was hard to not be motivated for it. I love doing the show. I love creating things with you guys. I think it's always fun. I enjoy it. Do you guys enjoy it?
I do.
I enjoy it.
It's-
Shut up, Dip.
Don't worry, you can be on the news show, Dip.
I used to enjoy it.
Dip's one of like the OG listeners, bro.
It's true.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, because apparently he wanted to be on the original cast, but I thought he didn't because I asked him and he didn't.
Ooh.
But
Yeah, you were too busy
Sarah-
doing your PhD.
Yeah. Busy time in life, get married, ball and chain. You know how it is.
No.
So why I've got to bring this up is because we're officially ending trend settings. We're not ending group settings. We're not ending the channel. We're not ending the podcast network. We're definitely not ending what's the kill count. We're coming back with a season 2 of that. That's going to be about Bruce Willis.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
No, that's Keanu Reeves.
No, that's Owen Wilson.
Wow.
That's wow.
Wow.
Whoa and wow, completely different. Bruce Willis is welcome to the party, pal.
I can't wait
That's
for you
Bruce
to do
Willis.
your Owen Wilson season.
That's too California for Bruce Willis.
Sorry.
He is Californian.
Yeah. He's a bit more like deadpan.
Mm.
Anyway.
Die Hard's in California, no?
Welcome to the party, bro.
No, he says like, "Welcome to the party." So
Cool.
for ending trend settings, we're starting a new show that I have the idea for. Chris is thinking about doing a movie podcast,
Ooh.
which I don't know how serious he is about it.
Serious.
Super serious.
I can't tell. He's got sleazy eyes.
Is it going to be like... You're going to have a normie on there with you, or is it just going to be like...
Oh,
Chris?
No.
wankers only.
Wanker, movie wankers.
If you have me on, we'll just argue about reviews all the
Exclusively
time.
for wankers.
What was the ABC group? The Dave and the... What was it?
Oh,
Ah.
at the movies.
At
Yeah, at the movies.
Yeah.
Really knew that.
But yeah, the kind of the main one, or at least I say the main one, but it's just the one that I'll be writing is gonna be. It's gonna be. I keep trying to think of how to describe it, and
You haven't got a title yet.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't have it. I'm gonna tell you what it is, but I'm not gonna give you any plot
No, you
spoilers.
should just
'cause-
drop a title and not tell them what it is.
No. So it's
Build
gonna
suspense.
be pretty much an audio movie sitcom story,
Maybe an adventure.
Okay.
episodic.
An audio adventure.
Yeah.
Like radio shows back in the day.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like
So-
they did a Wolverine one.
It's gonna be
War of the Worlds.
Yeah, so it's going to be a show that's going to be all of us. Us three will be the main ones, but there'll be guest characters like Dip and other people.
Mm.
And when we
gee.
need a female on the show, we'll have to get Ev.
Can
or
Dip be a
something.
fiddler?
I can try it.
Yeah. But the idea is, if you've heard the dramatic readings from What's the Kill Count, the kind of style is going to be like that, but it's going to be original and it's going to be written and it's going to be like character stuff. It's going to be mainly episodical, but there'll be stuff that's procedural. So there'll be elements that carry over and elements that don't. But that's kind of the next season of things that what we're going to do. The kind of the motivation of it came from. I think we were really getting sick of creating things that were kind of reflections of other media. And it wasn't kind of unique, and it was unique because we made it unique, but it wasn't unique in that if we tried to sell it or if we tried to pitch it somewhere, it would always be, oh, that's just a news show.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep. I feel you.
Well, I'm with you.
Yeah, but with the idea is with kind of the new stuff is it's going to be very something we can really gonna get behind, and I want to say sell, but that's not the right word, but just kind of put forward. We can really do what we want with it, and we can make it super interesting because I know you could say it's kind of like an audio book, and I'm sure there is examples of people doing this kind of thing, but nothing really great that I've ever heard of. Because usually, if it's great, it's probably an actual book.
War of the Worlds.
But we're kind of
Wolverine.
What's the Wolverine thing?
I'll tell you later.
Okay. I know he had an anime for 4 episodes. I watched that.
He's an X-Man.
But yeah, what do you guys think?
Cool.
Yeah,
I think it's lit.
it's a good idea.
Excited.
Very.
I really hate those weeks where nothing's happened and you feel like you have to talk about something.
Yeah.
That really wears
The
thin.
yeah the big thing that I was kind of because don't take this as we're gonna stop. This definitely isn't a stop. We're not breaking up.
We haven't been cancelled.
We don't hate each other.
Yeah, we're not cancelled.
We're like
Yeah.
the Beatles. We'll go forever.
If any drama actually happens, we probably won't say it on camera. that's more how we roll.
That is
The
our
fact-
modus operandi.
The fact that we're
Yeah,
completely
keep going.
honest and completely saying all this, like, take that as a good sign, as we want to keep going. We just don't want to do it like this.
Yep.
We're going to evolve, even though evolution's a myth. What? Oh, he said it.
Evolution is a regular concept.
I don't know. I just threw it in there.
Is that
But
right, Doctor?
yeah.
I've seen Pokemon.
Apparently, there's a radio drama called Silver Street
You can't
on
get right
the
to it
Asian
out of
network.
evolution, man.
Nice. But we're going to do that. We're going to do things more in seasons so that we're not on the hook for everything because we all got
We're
responsibilities.
gonna be off the hook.
Hey
Yeah.
now.
Off the chain.
It's
Cool.
gonna be if you're looking for what kind of tone it's gonna be a lot of supernatural elements, a lot of crazy sci-fi elements, but it'll also be really silly. So think tone kind of Red versus Blue or Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but a little bit more serious, and not Andy Samberg just being Andy Samberg. kind of humor.
Cool.
Cool.
Everyone says he came up with that. Arbib was doing that like 10 years before him.
Probably.
I don't know what you're referencing. I haven't watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine
Oh,
You haven't watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
have you watched Community?
many times.
Who says cool on that?
Cool. Up it's
Mm.
Do you think?
Yeah, he
Do you
does.
think Andy
actually. That came
Samberg-
way before him.
Because I was watching a video and they're like, it was like things people come up with in shows, and that was one of them. And they did it to Brooklyn Nine-Nine, not
Yeah.
Community.
I saw a
that's
gif
weird.
of that of him saying cool. I was like,
Yeah, Brooklyn Nine-Nine's definitely younger than Community, right?
Oh yeah,
oh,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Community was cancelled before Brooklyn Nine-Nine even came
Came
out.
out.
absolutely true.
They filled that gap.
Yeah,
Well,
the cool gap.
It's not as good.
You don't know that. You haven't watched it.
I know that.
You don't.
I've seen like.
It
3
depends. It
episodes.
depends on the season, really.
Hmm.
But before, when Donald Glover was still in it, no. When
Hmm.
Donald Glover was out of it, yes.
Hmm.
I know that was confusing, and a lot of people probably didn't get that reference.
So Donald Glover good, no Donald Glover bad.
It's the
Yes.
sort of content you guys are here for, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Do you guys want to say anything?
Yeah.
Man, it's been a trip.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's
No.
been fun. We've talked about a lot of stupid things, but also a lot of serious things
Mm.
that were
Thinking
worth
back,
talking
We
about.
talked about facial recognition in China like a year ago.
Yeah.
We did that
And
topic.
today we talked about
It
China
came
again.
back.
Connected.
Mm.
We talked about penis lengths of different cultures.
There's probably a
Countries.
chart for that.
We talked about Pokemon Go. Talked about the Royals.
Mm.
Ev
Not
covered
enough-
that.
Not
Too-
enough, apparently.
Too
Mm.
much of it.
Shout out to Ye Chan.
Mm.
A little bit of a throwback.
I've been saying Ye Chan heaps lately.
Yeah, me
We just
too.
don't talk about the podcast.
Well, it seems like a normal thing to do.
Yeah. I see a lot of people that don't talk about the podcast.
Okay, we got comments. David only likes Electra because she is his type. Nothing to do with the character development.
Who said that?
Sarah.
Ev says Foggy is the best.
That's from my wife.
Ev says please talk about the future. Jazzy's putting a bunker monkey emojis.
Bunker jar.
I've always enjoyed
He's
it,
not
says
wrong.
Evelyn Chapman. What am I going to do on a Thursday night now?
Don't worry about it.
The battery's probably back
Hashtag
on, right?
token female. The battery just finished, actually.
Isn't it the
Jazzy
Bachelor?
Jules is pumping
Yeah, I thought there was another
iron.
one.
RIP trend settings. Love you guys.
It's not rest in peace.
We the reason it's not
Trend
sappy and
settings.
mopey is because like we're not ending with
Yeah, I don't care.
It'll be
exciting.
better, whatever we do next week.
Yeah,
yeah.
Chris and I's movie podcast is going places.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you have that,
You know that would be pretty.
you got to
funny.
have a
I
normal person on so they can say you're an idiot for
Sounds-
everything you say,
That
right?
sounds lame.
I'll come on
You
every
don't
week
want
and be
two
like,
friggin'
well, I
wankers
haven't
on it.
seen this movie,
Yeah.
Chris.
I found it deplorable.
That movie looked really boring.
What's an auteur?
Yeah. Thanks for watching / listening. We won't see you next week.
Mm.
Shout out.
Oh, I didn't say time frame. So because it's going to take a lot of writing for this next thing. I want to say, if I say 5 weeks, is that before Christmas or after Christmas, or like right smack bang in the middle of Christmas?
That's
Before.
before. That's the start of December.
Okay, so I want to tentatively say 4 weeks before we launch the new thing. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds tight.
Because
Sounds toit.
Can I send out
Wait.
a shout out?
Tight, being
Yeah.
good or bad?
Can I shout out Ali? Hasn't missed an episode of Trendsetters.
True.
Well done, Ali.
It's 110 episodes.
I almost
our
did
number
one.
one, man.
When
Yeah.
I was stuck
almost.
in Melbourne.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah.
Like, how do we turn everything on? How do I edit?
We don't have the camera.
Didn't you call in?
No.
No, we
we
just
just-
started at 10, I think.
Yeah. We're just waiting for it to come.
There was a storm in Melbs.
Pretty
As usual.
As usual.
Melbourne hashtag overrated.
I thought you were making a joke about the NRL team.
No,
Terrible.
I don't know anything about the
Oh, NRL draw came out today.
Yeah.
No one
For
cares.
next year. Anyone interested?
Any more yachts the Roosters have got for their players?
Yeah, we get
Yeah.
those big winnings.
We're done, right?
Premierships.
Should we say bye?
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Everyone's sad. Goodbye. We'll
Bye.
see you on the next show.
Bye.
See you then.
It'll be better. Whatever we do will be better.